If you're an e-commerce brand owner, I'm going to be showing you how you can easily scale past 100K per month. Now, the advice I'm going to be giving here isn't really limited to how much revenue you're doing. As long as you're generating more than like 10K, you'll be able to take these strategies and implement them to be able to scale your brand, 2, 3, 5, or even 10X. So let's just get into it. So first things first, I want to give my credentials about who I am. My name is Michael. I'm the founder of DaVinci Marketing, and we help and have been helping e-commerce brands scale with paid ads for nearly 2 years. We've managed just under 500K in advertising budget for our clients, and we've generated them well over $2 million in revenue. So I just want to give a little bit about my history and my backstory. So I started in mid-July 2022, and I spent the first 10 months just learning the game, taking L's, doing whatever I could though to get that field experience. And then around beginning of May 2023 was when I really started to crack the code. And like you can see here, this is our metric sheet from early May. And this is also one of our Shopify screenshots from around mid-May, I believe. And then by the 11-month mark, so like mid-June, was when I really started to get my feet wet and I started to figure things out. And at this stage, or up until this stage, I had school, and I would be, in the ads manager every night from 8 p.m. to like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And then I'd be up again at 6 to go to school. So I never really got any sleep, but it's part of that process, part of that grind. And our results showed up for themselves for our clients. And then by also around mid-June to like late June, I dropped a case study video documenting how we made one of our clients 236K in the month of May. And yeah, I used the case study video for a funnel, and then after that, it's just been sitting in my drive. It's probably gonna just keep it in the vault. And then by the 12th month mark, so like mid-July was when we really started to scale things up. So the client that I'm showing here, we went from like 75, 80, 85K a week in rev, and then we scaled them up to like 130K a week in rev, which you can see here. And then on the right is actual Facebook ads results. So our worst campaigns, like we're probably breaking even, maybe 1 to 1.5x ROAS. And then our best ones, we were seeing anywhere from a 3 to 10x ROAS. So I'm going to be showing like individual format, breaking down our entire Facebook ad strategy. So first things first is testing. And before I even get into it, I'm going to link all of the stuff that I'm showing here. I'm going to leave it all in the description so you guys can follow along and, be able to implement these strategies for yourself as well. So first things first, when it comes to testing, our objective with testing is to find top of funnel ads that can profitably introduce new customers into the brand's ecosystem. Basically what this means, we want to get new people in using a hot product, our top bestseller. And then from there we can, cross sell them on the other products that the brand has. So the way we do this is with a very simple one campaign, per advertising objective. And then, so you just choose one really good best-selling product, and then you focus all of your top of funnel efforts onto that one product. And the reason we do this one campaign, strategy is because the customer doesn't see your ads manager. Only you do, and maybe your team. So there's no reason to have this complex 100 campaigns. That's not necessary, and it's just confusing for everybody. You can just have one, keep everything very simple, very, very streamlined, very clean, and it's easy for you and your team to understand and figure out what's going on. And there's no reason to spend that extra effort for extra 99 campaigns that you don't need. All your customer sees is your creative, so that's where 80% of your focus should be, on the creative, Pareto principle. So our focus is on the quality of the creative, which, like I said, 80% is the workload is with creatives, and the other 20% might be copy and might be campaign structure and whatever other miscellaneous things. And so all this comes together with our goal being to produce top high quality resonating videos or images, whatever creatives that resonate with our target audience. And so over here is kind of the sales funnel explained. So like I said, we want to target the top of funnel to be able to onto that best-selling product, to be able to get people into the ecosystem. The way we do that is through paid ads or organic content. And then once they're in the middle of the funnel, you can cross-sell them with your SMS list or through your email lists. And then whenever you have a new product or a new whatever, or you already have old products and you're doing a sell, and then you can cross-sell them that way. And then bottom of funnel, you're just retargeting. So, and when you're testing, you must always, and I cannot stress this enough, you must always look at a 3-day average. Never make decisions based off of yesterday or or what Tuesday did or yesterday did. That it doesn't matter. Look at 3 days, because sometimes Facebook isn't consistent. So you need to look at more data to have a more concise idea of what is going on with inside the ads manager. So here is the actual, like, I guess, setup. So step one is on the ad account level. You want to have one campaign. Only exception is if you have multiple business objectives. I kind of said this earlier, but basically what this means is if you have like a separate women's line for your clothing brand and a separate men's line, that would be 2 different campaigns. Or if you're targeting, Dutch for one language and then English for another, that would be a reason for you to have multiple campaigns. But outside of that, probably just gonna only do one. And then on the campaign level, you want to set your objective to, usually sales if you're e-commerce. And then you'll just leave all the campaign settings alone except for the budget, which you'll set to advanced campaign budget, or ACB, but AKA CBO. That's what most people know it as. And then on the ad set level, you're gonna set it to purchase conversions, 7-day click, 1-day view, website conversions. You could use catalog, but unless you want to set all that up, I recommend just using website. Keep it very simple. And then you want to set it to dynamic creative, and I always launch mine at 12 a.m. so they don't spend the middle of the day. And then you run broad targeting, and you set your placements according to your creatives. And then on the ad level, you set your identity, so your whatever Facebook and Instagram page you're going to be running your ads from. And then you choose your format, and you type in your copy, put in your creatives, etc., etc. And the last thing you do is put your URL parameters, your link, all that stuff, and launch it. So now I'm going to actually show how to set that up. So here I have one of my clients, ads managers. This is a client I just signed. Not just signed, but we're just getting them set up. So first things first, it's a new sales campaign. Like I said, on the campaign level, we're just going to go test, call it a test, but we don't change anything except for catalog. We turn that off. And then the only thing we turn on is advanced campaign budget. And just for very simple, I'm set it at 100. And then on the ad level, same thing. Like I said, you could use website and shop, but I recommend just using website conversion. You want to maximize with your pixel, set pixel conversion to purchase, like I said. And then always launch it at 12 a.m. So that would be tonight at 12 a.m. That would launch. And then US, Advantage Plus, all this stuff, just leave it alone since we're going broad. And then on the on the ad level, you select the page. I'll use mine. And then you want to set if you're doing manual upload or catalog. You could do catalog, but like I said, just keep it to manual upload. And then you can upload your image, or if you're doing Instagram, you can also just click from here and use existing post. Or if you already had an ad that you ran before, you want to use that same creative and also pull the likes and whatever you had from that one without redoing it. You can also do that, and then just plug in the existing post ID. And then from here, if you're doing image or video, you'll plug that in. If you're doing carousel, so multiple images, you click carousel. I'm just gonna keep it simple like this. Also, I forgot to turn on dynamic creative. There we go. So now we have that. So what dynamic creative does is you'll put in 3 images and 2 headlines and 2 primary texts. And what Facebook will do is it'll mix and match to find the best combination out of all that. And that best combination is what you'll take and put into your scaling ad set to be able to scale later on. So yeah, you'll plug in your, winning primary text, and then whatever your headlines offer. So it might be $20 off, summer sale, whatever. And then your description, I usually leave this alone. I don't usually mess with description. You don't really need it. And then you'll put your website, and then display link, leave it alone. Call to action, shop now, which it already set to that. And then that should be basically it. And that's how you launch. Very simple. The main focus of this is just to having that 3 images. So you can do either 3-2-2, so 3 images, 2 primary text, 2 headlines, or you can do 5. So I've seen people do 5-3 as well. Either one, it doesn't really matter. If you have 5 creatives that are similar, then you do that. If you have 3 that are similar, do that. Whatever floats your boat. So That's how you set it up inside of Facebook ads. So back to the explanation over here. So also, if you're on a new ad account or a new pixel, don't broad target. You want to use interests, especially if like you're your new brand or whatever. So that way you can give Facebook data on your, your target customer. Because if you're going broad and you only have like 3K to spend, or you have a smaller budget, it's going to take a lot more money for Facebook to figure out where your target customer is. So if that's the case and you're new advertiser, test interest. But in terms of how to properly launch ads, we launch 1 new ad concepts a week. That way it gives us enough time to write and produce new ads. And then it also gives the ads that we just launched enough time to spend, so we can see how they perform. Because the worst thing you can do is you launch a new ad and then you shut it off tomorrow morning. Like, you need to give your ads time to spend. If it's a good ad, and you took time to build it and script it and plan it out, you got to give it time to do its thing. And I usually go 3-4 days, and in that 3-4 day span, we're writing new ad concepts, brainstorming, getting new ideas, or I have my creatives team working on new creatives in that time. So once that 3 to 4 days is up, usually 3 days, then we'll kind of we'll reset, test the new ads, and then just kind of recycle that. In the meantime, do market research, that sort of thing, since that should be where the bulk of your ideas and inspiration comes from. And then when you're market researching, these are things you should be looking for or looking at when you're doing market research. So your own reviews and comments, your market's desires and wants, their pains and their daily struggles, how they dress, how they look like, just like customer avatar in general, how they talk, communicate, once again, customer avatar, and then similar products, brands in your space and their competitors, and those brands, their reviews and comments and that sort of thing. So then from there, for creating new ads, I have this ad concept doc that I use. I'll link that in the description as well, and you can also click on it if you're using this this sheet. But I have it open right here. So what basically this is how it looks like, and you just put in the the name. So like example, O2, and then you'll click in progress. I'm working on it now, and then you'll choose your market awareness level. So let's just say we're educating a problem aware market. What this means is, for example, someone who's short, right? They're aware of the problem that they're short, so they are looking for you want to educate them on how they can solve that problem. How can they stop being short? How can they become tall? So if you have like a pill that'll help people get taller, you're gonna want to educate a problem aware market. It's people who already know they're short, so you want to educate them on how they can become taller using your pill. And your persona will be short people, 18 to 25, who would like to do X, Y, Z, whatever. And the same thing for a desire. What do they want? To be taller. Why do they want to be taller? So they can get more ladies. Why do they want that? And you kind of Socratic question to get to that root cause. And then what benefit does your product give them? Makes them taller. What else does it do? Et cetera. Maybe boost their testosterone, other things, right? And then what are we creating or testing? What are we testing to see? Like what's the premise, the goal with the test? And then here you put your offer and the script ideas. And then for headline patterns, this is from Breakthrough Advertising, amazing book. If you're an advertiser, you should 100% read it. And then here you're kind of this is like for your headline, what strategy you're using to draw people into it. So for something like that, for a pill to make people taller, you can maybe metaphorize the claim. So you could be like, go from like Kevin Hart to like Taco Fall, right? Like our pill will make you go from being Kevin Hart's height to Taco Fall's height. If you don't know, Taco Fall is an NBA player, he's like 7 feet. So like that, you can metaphorize the claim, and then you'll just put your actual headline. So like, take this pill to be taller than Taco Fall. I don't know why I did that, but there you go. Like that's just a very simple off the dome. That's not that good, but like you get what I'm saying, right? And then primary text, you'll kind of list it like the all the checks, like makes you taller, and boost your attractiveness, boost your testosterone, boost your confidence, whatever. $20 off, summer sale, get yours down before they sell out. And then what gives you the confidence to make that you believe this test will be, the test will work. So that's where you'll kind of type this in and give your own sort of backup as to why you believe the test will go well. And then the results of the test, and then you also link the ad right here, just so you can always have reference to it. All right, what I also have is for more advanced marketers, I have this customer and hooks matrices document. And basically what it lets you do is you can kind of go more in depth on your customer like avatar and put more information about them, age group, occupation, just going more and more in depth on that sort of thing. Same thing for writing more in depth hooks, messaging, like what kind of messaging are you trying to portray in your ads, and then also your audience research. So this is kind of the same thing as this, but this is more broad and just overall writing one ad concept. This is, you would use it to go more in depth on the certain things like the hooks or like the messaging you're going for, or your audience research or your customer, avatar, right? Over here. So this is kind of the DCT explained. So that this explains dynamic creative. So basically I said already, dynamic creative, three images, three images or videos, and then 2 headlines, 2 primary texts, and like Facebook's gonna mix and match to find your target customer. When you're testing DCT creatives, you never want to mix images and videos. Either you have 3 images or you have 3 videos. Don't do 2 videos and an image, or 2 images and a video. Don't do that. Just keep it the same. And then for CBO, the reason we run CBO is because Facebook will give the spend to the ad set that is worth spending towards. If Facebook doesn't believe that ad set is worth spend, they're not going to give it, because they're not going to give bad, whatever to their users. So they're going to make sure that what they're showing to their users are good, good ads. Otherwise, they're going to say this is not worth it, and that certain ad set is going to get no spend. And then in terms of iteration process, you should just be always learning and iterating from your previous tests, seeing what worked, what didn't, and always taking note to get better and better. The worst thing you can do is test and not learn anything. Even if you mess up and it goes horrible, you want to be able to say, I learned something from this test. What can I do going forward with, future tests to not make that certain same mistake? Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in a loop of testing and failing. You're never going to learn from it, and then you'll just give up because you suck and you don't know what you're doing. So over here, extra tips. Number 1, don't stop producing new tests. Even if you have a winner, you want to keep testing. Like I said, every week or twice a week. If you have a winner, maybe just test every week, and then like one test can be, or test twice a week. One test can be a new idea. One can be an old idea that you're like kind of reinventing to like try a different angle or different whatever. Use the winning messaging of your winning, ads, and create new concepts around that messaging. You can also test the new ads against the previous winner until one does better than the previous winner. That's actually what we do. You can test other winning hooks or call to actions with it, or change the format completely. Just like I said, mixing and matching, trying different things. You can test UGC videos or image ads with the winning messaging, or do completely new concepts all together. You don't have to always stick to one thing. You can mix and match and try new things. If it's getting little to no spend your ad set, but it's hitting your target CPA, then that means it's a failed test, because you want to make sure it's getting spent, because that's Facebook saying, hey, this is a worthy, creative. This is worthy for us to show it to our users. And when we're spending, we want to spend more than our main or winning ad set when we're testing new things. So it has to spend more than the winning ad set, and then it also has to have a better impact on the business. So like better cost per acquisition, better ROAS, whatever. It has to have a better impact than the other winner, and be spending more for it to be a new winner. So once we have a new winner, we throw it into the winner's ad set, and we just have a winner's ad set with a bunch of winning ads in them, and they're all just working in tandem and printing. Now, like I said, if it has a good impact, that's how you know it's a winner. So that's really all for testing. So getting the scaling, super simple. The methodology for us when it comes to scaling is, you want your ad campaign, your first order of business is to make sure that you have found at least one winner through your tests. You obviously can't scale if you don't have any winners, so just make sure you have that first. Having more is great, but ideally just have one. Keep it simple, and then continue to test while you're scaling that one winner. So once you have your winner, you need to have the messaging and the corresponding copy and creatives set in stone, and you need to be seeing results with it before you even start to think about scaling. And then, so in terms of actually scaling, The way we do this, like I said, one ACB campaign, or aka CBO, whatever you want to call it. Basically what you do is you raise or lower the budget based off of the previous 3-day performance, based off of your target NCPA, which is new customer cost per acquisition. So basically, when you get a new customer, how much does it cost you to get that new customer? Because regular CPA versus NCPA are two different things. NCPA is new customers. Regular CPA also includes return customers. So you might have a really good CPA because you have a lot of return customers, good LTV, but you might have a terrible NCPA. And at the end of the day, we want new customers to come into our brand ecosystem. So that's why we have that. And then all you want to do is look at the NCPA metric inside of Triple Whale. You want to set a target NCPA for your ads. And so if over the last 3 days, or if over the last 24 hours, your ads are hitting that target NCPA, you scale up by 20%. And then if over the last 3 days it's not hitting your target NCPA, then you scale down by 20%. 20% seems like a little amount, but I promise you, when you're seeing compounding wins, that 20% will add up very quickly. And then when it comes to tracking, we use Triple Whale. I would recommend it. If you're doing more than 2K a month, you definitely need to have Triple Whale because you need some sort of advanced, tracking software to be able to have more precise numbers, because Facebook's tracking, it's not that good, and they should make it better, and it should be good, but it's not reliable. So I always recommend having that third party. Hyros is good, and there's some other ones too, but at least use Triple Whale. Now they have a free version as well, so I recommend at least using that. And then when it comes to mindset, when you're testing and scaling, you want to remove any emotions from your decision making. Only make logical and analytical decisions, because common sense isn't that common. So you need to make sure you use common sense. Be disciplined and let things play out. Like I said earlier, got to give things time. Don't just sit there and watch the ads like a stalker. Like, let them test for their 3 days, whatever, 4 days, and then during that time, write new ads, do other things. Don't obsess over the results, even if they look bad at first. It's fine. Let it do its thing, so you can say, okay, this failed, without any second thought, or well, what if I should have done this, or let it play out longer. No, make sure you give it its time. It's 3 days, and then after that, you can move on to the next test. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, because that's the only way you'll learn. If you don't make any mistakes, you haven't learned anything. And like I said, if you're not learning anything, you're just going to be stuck in this infinite loop of taking L's because you're not learning from your mistakes. Patience and giving things time is a crucial skill, like I already said. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but just be patient. And then using your emotions to drive your decisions is the quickest way to burn your arm off. I'm telling you right now. I've been there. I've done that. I made emotional decisions. Oh, this did bad. Let me do this because this did bad, without sitting down and critically thinking, and everything just goes to hell. So make sure you make analytical decisions without using your emotions. And then when it gets to advanced, this is for more advanced. Once you're stuck and you can't scale any further, there are one or two things you can do. Number one, you open up a new level of market awareness, and you alter your messaging to target a problem aware or unaware audience, or you dive deeper into your market research and learn to use your target customers' desires, beliefs, and identity to advertise towards them. So basically you have to learn how to know your customers better than they know themselves, which is what companies like Apple and Amazon and all these other $1 trillion enterprises, that's what they do. They know you better than you know you. Google knows you better than you know you. Apple knows you better than you know you. Facebook knows you better than you know you. So you need to become, maybe not at that level because they have millions of dollars to spend to do that, but it's going to get to my next point. You need to be able to put aside a few hours every week to do market research, to be able to learn your target customer, because if you can't do that, you're not going to win. You need to be able to know your customer. And if you don't know your customer, then they're not going to buy from you, because to them, you're just a stranger. If you don't know anything about them, you don't know them, you can't properly advertise towards them, they're not going to buy your product. And then that goes into a little story. When I wrote this PDF back in October of last year, so 6 months ago, I just bought a MacBook, and I was in DC for the weekend, little family trip. And after I bought the MacBook, it was I think spent $1,200 on it. It was it was an expensive purchase. It was. But for me, being on that trip in DC right after I bought my MacBook, all the fun I had during the trip, walked around DC downtown. Not, I guess not downtown. I don't know what you call it, but just walked around DC, saw, the sights, all that stuff. Saw so many supercars that weekend, and I associated all the positiveness of that trip with me having a MacBook and being like this, laptop lifestyle entrepreneur who's like, doing his thing, working from a laptop and doing well. And like, that's what you need to be able to do. Your customers need to be able to see like, oh, I spent so much on this, but like it was worth it because, and then they associate the things around it. It's, the perception, and you want to be able to make your people, your customers, your community perceive themselves in your brand or in your, whatever you're selling so positively that they can even spend $1,500 or $2,000 or $10,000 on it, but have that positive perception. That's all I got though. Like I said, I'll leave this in the description so you guys can read through it as well. I'll also leave the original PDF and the ad concept doc, and then this one as well, the customer and hook matrices doc.